Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's October 22nd, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament book of 1 Kings, and we're going to read chapter 14, verse, let me see, where are we going to start? We're going to start at 21, verse 21, and we're going to go to chapter 15, verse 24. All right. So here we are in Kings, and we're going to see how Kings is structured. A really good example of that in this passage, because we started with Rehoboam and we got to the end of Rehoboam's life, and then Rehoboam dies, but Jeroboam, who was the king in the north, started a little bit before him, and then the narrative shifts to his life, and we see 22 years of his life. And then when he dies, we're going to go back to where Rehoboam died, and we're going to get that next king, and we're going to move through the kings that were king over Judah while Jeroboam was alive. But then that last king who was reigning when Jeroboam died is going to carry us a little bit further on the Judah side, and then we're going to go back to the Israel side and take over from where Jeroboam died. So we get kind of a parallel. So it's not necessarily going chronologically, we're kind of jumping with two different arcs, an arc for Israel and an arc for Judah. Sometimes they overlap, sometimes we're going a little bit further, and then we're going back a little bit. But that's basically how the rest of Kings works. We're going to look at each king. We're going to kind of compare them and contrast them. Again, we see the king of Israel. Jeroboam starts off, and he starts sinning right away, starts chasing after God, and Israel pretty much goes in a downward trajectory for the whole of Kings. Judah, we started off with David and Solomon, and then we got to Rehoboam, and it's starting to tank down and follow the same path as Israel. But then we're going to see some kings that kind of lift it up a little bit, and then they kind of go down, and then they lift it up, and then they go down, and then they lift it up, and then they go down. So they're drifting away, but they're a little bit slower than Israel, which is more of a direct straight line. But both of them are headed to exile at the end because of their sins. That's pretty much. Oh, the other thing of Kings, it talks about the annals of the kings of Israel, or the chronicles of the kings of Israel, chronicles of the kings of Judah. We do not have those books. They've been lost a long, long time. So we're getting information that was pulled from another book. So that's one thing to keep in mind when I'm reading the Bible. The Bible doesn't tell me everything there is to know. It tells me what's important for me to know, what God wanted me to know about these kings, which is, what marked their reign. For Jeroboam, it was chasing after idols and turning his back on God and trying to set up his own worship. When we get to Ahab, his evilness. When we get a king that was good, he did a good thing and started to head back towards where David was. That's what we want to see, the highlights and the lowlights as we go. The chronicles they're talking about are not the chronicles that we have in our Bible. That's something completely different. I think that's enough setup. Let's go ahead and we're going to read 1 Kings chapter 14, verse 21 to 15, 20, what did I say, 24? 24. That's what I said. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he became king. He reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city where the Lord had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. His mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. Now Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they committed more than all that their fathers had done. For they also built for themselves high places, sacred pillars, and wooden images on every high hill and under every given green tree. And there was also perverted persons in the land. They did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. It happened in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishka, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem, and he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He took away everything. He also took away all the gold shields which Solomon had made. Then King Rehoboam made bronze shields in their place and committed them to the hands of the captains of the guard who guarded the doorway of the king's house. And whenever the king entered the house of the Lord, the guards carried them, then brought them back into the guard room. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days. So Rehoboam rested with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. His mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. Then Abijam, his son, reigned in his place. In the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebor, Abijam became king over Judah. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, the granddaughter of Abishalom. And he walked in all the sins of his fathers, which he had done before him. His heart was not loyal to the Lord his God. His heart was not loyal to his God, as was the heart of his father David. Nevertheless, for David's sake, the Lord his God gave him a lamp in Jerusalem, by setting up his son after him, and by establishing Jerusalem, because David did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and had not turned aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, except in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. Now the rest of the acts of Abijam, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Abijam and Jeroboam. So Abijam rested with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. Then Asa, his son, reigned in his place. In the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Asa became king over Judah, and he reigned 41 years in Jerusalem. His grandmother's name was Maacah, the granddaughter of Abishalom. Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did his father David. And he banished the perverted persons from the land, and removed all the idols that his father had made. Also he removed Maacah, his grandmother, from being queen mother, because she had made an obscene image of Asherah. And Asa cut down her obscene image, and burned it by the brook Kidron. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was loyal to the Lord all his days, and he also brought into the house of the Lord the things which his father had dedicated, and the things which he himself had dedicated, silver and gold and utensils. Then there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. And Baasha, king of Israel, came up against Judah, and built Ramah, that he might let none go out or come into Asa, king of Judah. Then Asa took all the silver and gold that was left in the treasuries of the house of the Lord, and the treasuries of the king's house, and delivered them into the hand of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Ben-Hadad, the son of Tabramomon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, who dwelt in Damascus, saying, Let there be a treaty between you and me, as there was between my father and your father. See, I have sent you a present of silver and gold. Come and break your treaty with Baasha, king of Israel, so that he will withdraw from me. So Ben-Hadad heeded King Asa, and sent the captain of his armies against the cities of Israel. He attacked Dijon, Dan, Abel-Bath-Mahakah, and all at Chinnereth, with all the land of Naphtali. Now it happened, when Baasha heard it, that he stopped building Ramah, and remained in Tisra. Then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judah. None was exempted, and they took away the stones and timber of Ramah, which Baasha had used for building, and with them King Asa built Gerba of Benjamin, and Mizpah. The rest of all the acts of Asa, all his might, all that he did, and the cities which he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? But in the time of his old age he was diseased in his feet. So Asa rested with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father. Then Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his place. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.